Are you recording? Yes, we are. Hello. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast, episode 3. Wrong hand. Um, if you saw my community post, I dropped my laptop and it completely shattered. That was last week. I was doing some typing class up here, and then I went to get up. We're gonna talk about this story real quick. I went to get up, and I bumped my knee on the desk when I went to get up, and then I dropped the laptop, and then just went. I dropped it, it hit the desk, and then it hit the floor, and then when I opened it up, it was shattered. Short story, I know. Short story, rated 10, I know. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I thought this episode was going to be filmed on my phone with a small little mic, because I can't hook up my big mic to my phone. Anyway, I was able to get my laptop got fixed last night. Shout out to my dad for fixing it, so I'm able to film it on my laptop this time, which thank God. Today's episode is going to be about my story of how I met Reed Timmer, and today's episode of how I met Reed Timmer, the whole origin story of how I've been watching him, how I became obsessed with weather. I watch a bunch of storm chasers and a bunch of weather, a bunch of tornadoes, a bunch of documentaries about history tornadoes or famous tornadoes, should I say. But Reed Timmer, when it came to storm chasers and storm chaser shows and movies, I watched the original Twister. I watched the newest Twisters. I haven't seen the original Twister in a while, probably since I was 7. Anyway, I should get back to. I should probably watch it here. I should probably watch it here soon. Anyway, so my story of Reed Timmer and watching him and watching weather in general, he inspired me. Well, he's the reason I want to be into meteorology and storm chasing. That's what I want to do after college. But this all goes back to 2013 when I was 4 years old at the time. And I pretty much watched, the only thing I watched that was weather related was some of Storm Chasers, the show that Reed Timmer did, and the news and the Weather Channel. That's pretty much all I watched. The first big thing that got me into tornadoes, big time, wasn't until 2015. 2015, I think it was, yeah. When, I don't know, I think it was 2015, could have been 2016, one of those 2 years. Might have even been 2017, I don't know, but one of those 2-3 years is when the Weather Channel show Tornado Alley came out, and it might have been 2014, I don't know. I don't know. Is when the the weather show about tornadoes, Tornado Alley, came out, and I love that show. I was obsessed. That was my favorite TV show for a couple years. When I was little, that was my favorite TV show. I loved it. I watched every single episode of it, and I just became more fascinated about tornadoes. And I watched documentaries about tornadoes. I would play, I would build cities out of, building blocks that I had, and, tear it up with a pretend tornado, or, hurricanes. I'm into hurricanes, too, but I wasn't really into hurricanes until I was, 11, and I'll explain that here in a minute. So I was into tornadoes for the longest time, and then, I kind of stopped watching tornadoes for a little bit. I was still into them, and still fascinated about them, still mesmerized by them and everything. Kind of didn't watch them for a while, and then 2020 came. And 2020 was the year of hurricanes, in my opinion. That and 2005 are the year of hurricanes. That's just my opinion. And Probably a bunch of people's opinions who live in the United States, but I don't know. 2020 was the first. I was 11 in 20. I'm 16, about to be 17 now, but I was 11 in 2020. That was the first time I experienced a hurricane. We had I think it was a category 2 hurricane. Category 2 hurricane hit us, went right over us. It was Hurricane Zeta in October, and after that, I started binge watching the crap out of every hurricane. I studied Hurricane Katrina after this. Like, everybody knows Hurricane Katrina. Especially if you live in the Gulf Coast. You live in the Gulf Coast area, you know Hurricane Katrina. Just put that down. Whether you were born after or before 2005, you know. I mean, I was born in 2009. And I know, like, the whole origin story. It's just insane. I studied a bunch of other hurricanes that hit 2020 and just in other years in general. And then I started going back to tornadoes, and so I was like, studying weather events like tornadoes, hurricanes. I mainly do tornadoes and hurricanes, and sometimes that's just it. But I know there's obviously other weather stuff like out there, like wildfires, earthquakes, and tsunamis, and I also think those are fascinating to learn about. But yeah, and then and this is when I started really to start, like, I started watching Reed Timmer back in 2013. And I watched him all the way up until 2020. And I didn't watch him for a couple months, and then started 2021 when I was 12 that year. Is when I started coming back and watching him and watching his, like, hurricane videos, I think it was. I don't think he didn't have much hurricane videos at the time, back in, at least that I knew of. I only saw, like, a couple, but they were really cool to watch, and I started watching, like, other YouTube channels that would make these mini documentaries about, like, tornadoes and hurricanes. And then I would watch the official documentaries about hurricanes and tornadoes from, like, the Weather Channel, and just watching weather stuff 24/7 was prime. And that's what I did from 21 all the way to 2025. That's pretty much, like, weather stuff all I did. I started, like, had little on YouTube. I would do YouTube channels, make private YouTube videos about, like, weather stuff, about, like, hurricanes where they were going to make landfall. Like, I would try to be exactly on point. I thought that was cool. They were shown to the public, but I made them private right away. And I'm glad I did. I don't have a weather channel anymore. I don't have, like, a weather YouTube channel anymore. I just have my podcast channel and my blog channel, which I'll link my blog channel in the description box down below if you want to go check it out. Anyway, so I think it was April, right after my 16th birthday, or like May of 2025, when I was looking through Facebook. When I was scrolling through Facebook one day, I know, yes, I scrolled through Facebook. Scrolling through Facebook one day, and I saw that Reed Timmer was going to be doing some show in Hattiesburg. And when I saw that, childhood tornado hit me like a brick. Yeah, it hit me hard. I was like, I can see my favorite, like, Reed Timmer at the time. From the time I started watching him in 2013, from now, is my favorite storm chaser. I was like, the chance to get to meet my favorite storm chaser. He was coming to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, in November the 30th. And I was like, this is my chance. So I showed my dad. I was like, hey, could we possibly go? Being the little sweet dad he is. I don't know if that's a weird way to describe that or a funny way to describe that. I'm using it as a funny way. Because he's obviously going to be watching this. I was like, could we go? And he was like, let me think about it. We did end up going, obviously. But, like, we're going to get there. So, I made a whole vlog about meeting him on my vlog channel. And like I said, I'm gonna link my vlog channel in the description box down below. So if you want to go watch that whole vlog, also the experience of meeting him after you watch this podcast, then you can go do that. So go subscribe, like the video. Anyway, enough advertising. I'm just kidding. So November, so Hattiesburg, which is Hattiesburg, Mississippi, about an hour away from us. It's about an hour away from us. So November rolls around. Friday, November 30th, the day we were supposed to go. Ended up getting postponed to Friday, January 30th, because on the way there, so we show up to the Sanger Theater. Now, if I say that wrong, correct me if comments are open and I just said that wrong, correct me in the comments. You have full permission. I do not mind. Anyway, we pull up to the Sanger Theater. We had driven for an hour, and no one is there. Like, no sign of Reed Timmer. Like, no sign of, like, saying that he was going to be there on any of, like, the windows or, like, the building. We usually say, like, he's going to be there. No sign of, like, anybody, like, getting your tickets at the door, because, like, we had our tickets ready. No sign of, like, anybody. There was no cars parked out there. So I was like, either postponed or we were the first ones here. But, like, we got there a little early, so we were like, maybe, but this is also Hattiesburg. And if you live in Mississippi, you know, you know. If you know, you know, if you live in Mississippi or just anywhere around the area of Mississippi. Yeah. If you know, you know. Like, we would have definitely not been the first ones there. We lived an hour away, and people who were coming could have lived in Hattiesburg. So we looked around for like 5 minutes probably. We finally found someone who was able to, like, so we went up to him and like, hey, is Reed Timmer? Like, we saw like Reed Timmer's coming here, like, we see no one here, and what's the issue? He drops, oh nice, tears rolling down my eyes, no, I'm just kidding, that he hit a deer on the way here, and like, every airbag in the vehicle blew open, I think, is what I think happened. I know he hit a deer, and I think it was the Dominator vehicle. Apparently, this vehicle can survive tornadoes, but it can't survive a freaking deer. So deers are freaking like Nokias. They're invincible. Anyway, I don't really remember what happened. I just know, like, deer, vehicle contact. Vehicle came in contact with deer. That's all I know. And like, airbags went everywhere. But so it got postponed to Friday, January the 30th, which was at the time 2 months from then. So we went back home. I mean, we were sad, but hey, we got free Chick-fil-A on that night, so if you get Chick-fil-A, I mean, Chick-fil-A soothes the sad body, in my opinion. So we just was like, okay, we're gonna go back on the Friday, January 30th, and at this time, like, probably another like a month later, either at the end of December or 3 weeks before we went, I don't know, I bought a little Bluetooth mic for like $15 that like clips onto your shirt, because I was going to start vlogging. This is when I started vlogging. Started my vlogging channel when I started getting back into the vlogs. So the days came by and I was like, please, for the love of God, do not let this get postponed again. So Friday, January 30th rolls around. We're getting ready, and I'm just like, Lord, I just want to have fun tonight. So I'm vlogging, and like, if you want to, like, the rest of it, this whole day was filmed on my channel, posted. So like, once again, if you want to go watch it, you can. It's on my vlog channel. But why does my mouth look so weird? Anyway, like, look at that. like right there. Why does that look so weird? God, this laptop webcam is like confusing to me. Anyway, but like we got there January 30th. We went back to Hattiesburg, drove an hour, got Chick-fil-A beforehand again. We get there and there's like his sign of like Reed Timmer tornado show, learn about it, whatever. It's all over the building, cars everywhere. Took us 5 minutes alone to find a parking space. Last time it took us 30 seconds, so should have been red flag number one that this wasn't happening, but we didn't know obviously. It took us 5 minutes to like find a parking spot. We had to park like almost a half mile from the building where it was happening. Same place, Sanger Theater. Like I said, you can correct me in the comments if I said that wrong. But we get in there, the whole building is packed. Signs of like his show, where to go, people collecting like your tickets, and I was like, okay, it's happening. And we got our things, like our wristbands. And then there was like these people like to like the right of the building where you first walk in, like collecting, I guess like I don't know what they were doing, but like meet and greet. Like you get to like he was gonna do like they were saying he's gonna do a meet and greet at the end of the show where you can go up on the stage, take a picture, possibly talk with him. And I was like, okay. I turned to Daddy as soon as I heard that. I was like, I was like, listen, we getting this done. We are gonna make sure this happens. If it can't happen, then it's okay. But try your freaking best to make this happen. So he was like, okay. Okay. Yeah. So so not only were we going to be able to see him do his cool stuff on stage and like hear what he had to talk about, he talked for like 2 hours, which obviously I didn't mind. So I knew that like it was going to be at the time. I know I just said, but like for a split second, I thought like something came to my mind, like because they had like for 2 hours he was going to like talk and tell us everything about tornadoes and stuff like that. And then for a little bit, he was going to have like a Q&A session where you can come to like an area, not like on the stage, but like steps to go up to the stage. There'll be microphones there and you can ask them questions. Like, what is your favorite tornado? I wanted to, but like, I didn't go ask questions. I kind of wish I did looking back, but it's fine. And then like they were going to do the meet and greet at the end. I thought, like something came into my mind and said, what if that's just to like pay for a Q&A session? I was like, no way. There's no way they're charging alone for the Q&A session, but they could. I mean, it's 2026 at this point. It's 2026. I mean, they possibly might, but I was like, no, there's no way. So we get set in our seats. We hear him. We get to see him. That alone, just me seeing him in person was amazing. Dream come true. I'm not even kidding. So he talked for I think 2 hours, and it was like the best 2 hours of my life. And then they did for about 10 minutes. I think they did the Q&A session, which I did. Like I said, I didn't go up there. Wish I did, but hey, I still got a picture with him and all that. We'll probably see it because it's probably going to be the thumbnail of this podcast. So whatever. It may not be. I don't know. The picture is on my channel. You can. You'll be able to see the picture if you watch the vlog. It's probably the thumbnail of the vlog. I don't know. But anyway, so the meet and greet comes, and I'm over here like sweating bullets. And the title of the vlog is "I Met Reed Timmer," but they wouldn't allow you. They didn't allow you to film while you were sitting down, like, and he was in the stage talking. They wouldn't allow you to film that for some reason, but they were allowing you to take pictures. Like, you could take pictures of him on the stage talking, but you couldn't film. Because I was going to film some of it, but then they were like, no, you can't film, but you can take pictures. I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't say whatever. I was just like, oh, okay. but I was confused at the same time. So, thought I heard something. Trying to think. So I was like, okay, in my mind, like, this vlog is called I Met Reed Timmer, but there's gonna be like no evidence other than like a picture. But like maybe I could have just stolen that picture offline. But then I got an idea. I was with my parents, my mom and my dad, and I was like, I had my phone with me, and I was like, Mama. So I told her, I was like, I got pointing like over there, like the middle, where you can clearly see. I was like, get over there. When I hand you my phone, hold it like this, or no, like this. I think it was actually held. Like hold it, because I film my vlogs on the phone. Like this is my everyday phone, and this is also what I film my vlogs on. Like hold it like this, and film me when I go up there, because I want to get this. So she did, and I went up there, and I was shaking the whole time walking up there, and I was like, what am I gonna say? I'm gonna stutter. I'm 100% stutter, which I did, but that's fine. And we talked for a little bit. I was like, I'm gonna be a storm chaser like you, meteorologist, storm chaser like you. You know, he's more of a storm chaser, I think. I've been watching you for like almost 13 years. I've seen all your shows that you were in. I've seen you chase a bunch of tornadoes through YouTube, obviously. Seen you chase some hurricanes, and I've seen you do a lot. And I told him, I got to ask him some questions, and I was like, what was your favorite, like, what do you think of the 2013 EF5 that hit more? And he was like, that was I chased that one. It almost in my house, actually, which was interesting to find out. I'm trying to think. So, like, and then it was like, so we got a picture, and then we got a couple pictures, and then I walked down, excited. I was jumping up and down like a 6-year-old. Like, there was 8-year-olds in there that were keeping it together better than I was. No joke. So then we walk out of there, and I'm feeling like I'm on top of the world. And I'm like, I got a picture with Reed Timmer. Got video evidence that I got this. So then we drive an hour back, and we get home at like 10:30. And then I end the vlog like saying like, got a picture with Reed Timmer, let's go. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So that was the story of how I met Reed Timmer, and like the whole origin story of like where I started watching him, and like and all that. This was kind of a short podcast today. Not really. And just had to get up here and get it done, which I did. So hope y'all have a great rest of your week. I'll see y'all next Wednesday. Stay blessed, not stressed. Peace.